Joining us here for KREM 2 News at 6, I'm Whitney Ward.
Welcome everyone, I'm Mark Hanrahan. We start tonight with some breaking news. A KREM 2 investigation just before 4 o'clock today. We learned that Spokane Shock owner Sam Adams has been granted another day to submit a security bond to use the Spokane Arena for the upcoming season.
Now, up until now, the PFD, which operates the Spokane Arena, has been very clear with us here at KREM 2 that the deadline for Adams to provide that $128,000 line of credit was today at 5 p.m. Now, just before 4 today, the PFD said there was a misinterpretation on today's deadline, so they're now extending that deadline by another 24 hours, so they say that everyone can now be on the same page. For background, this follows our extensive investigation last week, which revealed a history of delayed payments and defaults from Adams to the PFD throughout all of last season. So this year, the district required costs to be paid in advance. The Indoor Football League season is set to start on March 12th, with the first Shock game slated for March 18th at the arena. Tonight, though, the PFD is still waiting to see if this year's games will actually take place. When I spoke with the IFL commissioner last week, he told me it is unprecedented to be this late in the season and still not have a lease in place. He also told me, based on our investigation here at KREM 2, the league has now opened its own investigation into the Shock and team owner Sam Adams. In a statement, the commissioner said Spokane, Washington is an outstanding city and market for indoor football, and the Shock have a special history. As we continue to sort through the details of this situation, our league's expectations are professionalism at all levels of the organization. He says we will have no more comments until our investigation is complete.
To see our entire KREM 2 investigation into the Shock organization, including past season ticket holders who say they're still owed money from the 2020 season, which was canceled because of COVID, text us the word SHOCK to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that link directly to your phone. Well, in other news this evening, in August of 2020, Spokane police found a woman slumped over in her car with a gunshot wound to the head. Police arrested her ex-husband, Nathan Beal, for her murder, and today is the first day of his trial for first-degree murder.
KREM 2's Amanda Rowley was in the courtroom today. She shares testimony that was given in court.
Spokane police believe Nathan Beal shot his ex-wife when she went to his home in Browns Addition to pick up their 2 children. This happened about a year and a half ago. For the first time, though, we heard testimony from the victim's boyfriend about that day. Spokane County court records say the victim, Mary Schaefer, flew to Spokane from Oregon and rented a car. She texted her boyfriend that whole morning until she arrived at Nathan Beal's home in Browns Addition.
What went through your mind when the texts to Ms. Schaefer stopped?
It was obviously something was wrong.
Her boyfriend, Justin Sharp, gave his testimony in court today. He called police when Mary didn't answer his calls and directed them to Beal's home. When they arrived, police found Mary slumped over in her rental car with a gunshot wound to the head. These are photos of the scene submitted to the court as evidence. Spokane police found a 9mm pistol in Beal's apartment, and prosecutors believe this will prove he is guilty of Mary's death.
Ballistic testing was then conducted on this gun. It was a match for the gun that was used to shoot Mary Schaefer in the head.
Beal's girlfriend even testified that she in fact purchased that gun for him.
Did Mr. Beal tell you why he wanted to get the gun?
Yes, it was for protection.
But the defense told the jury what is not said in court will prove he is innocent.
While you will be bombarded with pictures, with documents, with testimony, I would ask you to pay very close attention to the things that are missing here. And when you do that, I believe that you'll come back after all of the evidence is presented and find Mr. Beal not guilty.
Now the trial will resume tomorrow with additional witness testimony. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Happening tonight, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office is holding a town hall in Hayden to discuss community concerns about policing. There have been some recent incidents that prompted the meeting, including an hours-long standoff that happened earlier this month that resulted in a man holding up inside a burning home for several hours. Hayden's growing population has Kootenai County deputies stretched thin. The Sheriff's Office needs more resources, they say, to handle all the 911 calls. And taking a live look at that meeting that is underway right now, you can see there are several people packing the inside of it. So
good evening.
Our KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is there. He'll show us what happens tonight, coming up on KREM 2 News at 10 and 11 o'clock.
Well, the bitter cold we've been experiencing here lately is hanging around for at least another day or so here in the inland Northwest. And while we have certainly lucked out with clear skies and some sunshine during the day, today. There's now a possibility of a little snow overnight. We want to turn things over now to meteorologist Tom Sherry as we talk about maybe the next cold 24 hours.
Well, we had an overnight low of 3 degrees this morning. That's it. That's the coldest it's going to get this week. We're still going to be cold, but not as cold. Well, heck, it's cold right now. We're at 19 degrees, but see the wind? See how it's calmed down? So the wind chill advisory has been discontinued. We now just worry about the air temperature and not really the wind chill temperature. And we're getting more clouds moving in, and that's going to lead to some light snow falling while we're asleep in the overnight hours. And it will be light amounts of snow, and quite frankly, at 14 degrees, you could probably use your broom to brush it off the walkway in front of your house. We'll look for a daytime high tomorrow of 28 degrees with some clearing in the afternoon, and then I'm tracking changes for the weekend that will be on the warmer side. We'll talk more about that coming up with your 10-day forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Truckers in California are gathering to head to Washington, D.C. to protest COVID-19 mandates. The group is calling themselves the People's Convoy. They're spending about 11 days on the road to head into the capital city. That convoy is expected to arrive in early March, and yes, it could disrupt traffic ahead of the State of the Union address. Another group is called the American Truckers Freedom Convoy. They are also planning a series of convoys, and they too are headed to the D.C. area.
Well, that trucker protest is sparking some support here in Spokane. This was the scene today over I-90 in Spokane.
Now, despite the cold temperatures, those demonstrators held up signs of support, chanting and cheering as drivers below honked their horns.
Some of the demonstrators cited some of the recent trucker protests along the U.S.-Canadian border over the past week against the country's COVID mandates. They claim they are demonstrating in support of freedom of choice.
It's preserving choice. Preserving choice for everyone, not just Canadians, Americans, all throughout the world. Like, the peaceful protests have caught fire throughout the world, and everyone is gathering in unity. If you have to really look for the information online to see the protests and the video footage that's being shared, because it's not really being covered.
Meanwhile, U.S. Capitol Police are preparing for the convoy's arrival. Roughly 700 National Guard personnel will be deployed to help control traffic at designated traffic stops. The first of the protesters who departed from Pennsylvania are expected to arrive in D.C. tonight or sometime early tomorrow. One of the organizers says they have planned on blocking the D.C. Beltway, which might create a mess for commuters.
Well, her job is to make it easier to ask for help.
The goal is to not just hand you a piece of paper with a list of resources and, and hope for the best.
How this woman is breaking down the stigma of reaching out for someone to help with mental health care. This story after the break.